Welcome, everybody. It is Thursday, April 16th. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. Welcome, everybody, to Uncle Brad's living room. Here I am sitting at my dining room table every day, bringing you the best of whatever's happening in your home or your apartment. I think most people are quarantined, as well as giving you as much immigration information as I can. The telephone number for my law office, if anyone needs to reach me, because people ask me all the time, what is the telephone number? It is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. I got to say hello to the squad. Haven't seen them in about 24 hours. We said, by the way, that the show was going to start at 4 o'clock, and as you know, Uncle Brad's 4 o'clock and Real 4 o'clock. Brad Show Live 4 o'clock and Real 4 o'clock is completely different. Real 4 o'clock was about 15 minutes ago, but Brad Show Live 4 o'clock is, as you know, 4:50 right on the dot. Let's say hello to Fee Lannis on Facebook. How are you? Alyssa Enot, squad up. How are you? Fee Lannis also, or Fee Lannis, also saying squad up. Yo, what's up? What's going on? How are you? Carol Anderson, and by the way, Fee Lannis has already shared. She's doing her job. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, hi, Brad, how are you? How you doing? Okay, squad up. So far, I'm doing okay. Lovey Tango, squad up. Christy Consali, how are you? Dawn Bryan, squad up, y'all. Watch party is on, Fee Lannis. Thank you very much. Christy Consali, Katie and Plunkett, what's going on? Oliver Abrazado, squad up. And Ma Dukes, what's up? Denise Johnson Green, how are you? Lynn Shoemaker Sweezy, or Susie, squad up. Jessica Leamy, saying squad up, my loves. How are you all? And Stargirl Mika, squad up. Brad Bernstein, big up as always. And Monique Milani, how are you? Kristani Latif and Ada Nawan, oh boy, Ada, you're going to give me a hard time on this one. Ada Nawachinumulu, NW. Hi, how are you? And on YouTube, we can't forget YouTube. Let's say hello to Tali. Tali, squad up. Happy Thursday, Nisha. Show not ready. Show's ready. Ready to go. Janice Williams, how are you? Elisa Henry, Angela Rawlins, what's going on? Abdullah has a question. By the way, since we are in our pandemic pop-ups, we can't take telephone calls. We cannot take any telephone calls. So leave what we're doing, all social media check-in. Leave all of your questions in our Facebook feed. Leave all your questions in our YouTube feed. If I didn't see it, say it again. Eventually, I'll come across it because I'm doing everything here. Except what I'm not doing is I'm not engineering this program. Great job by the entire Brad Show crew. It's amazing what we can do now. You know, when you're under fire and we got to figure this out. We have figured it out. We figured out how to do Brad Show Live. Everybody's in their sweatpants except me. I'm in my Uncle Brad shirt, but everyone else is in their sweatpants from their living rooms producing this for the entire Brad squad. Elisa Henry, and great job, by the way, for the entire crew. Elisa Henry, how are you, Tia Persord? Back it up, Ricky, squad up. And Brooklyn Ishutu saying, hi, Brad, thank you so much for everything. You helped me out a lot. Well, I appreciate that. And by the way, everybody, I'm going to be answering your immigration questions in about 5 minutes or so. But we have to, before we get into immigration questions, I got to figure out what's going on in the world right now. And I think we got to do some schmoozing with Brad. What do you think? Let's see. Some of our graphics. Coronavirus statistics. There's now 2,113,200 cases of coronavirus globally. That number's got to be at least 10, 20 times. Those are confirmed cases of people who actually took a test and were confirmed with it. And that also doesn't include, underestimates from China and perhaps some other countries as well. But I think that number is far, far greater. There are confirmed 140,370 deaths. I think that number is also greater. The United States deaths spiked to a daily high of more than 2,400 yesterday. More than 640,000 people in the United States have tested for coronavirus. Today, unfortunately for us New Yorkers, Andrew Cuomo announced that he is stretching the state's stay-at-home order for another 2 weeks through May 15th. It's unfortunate because we all want to get out, as I say, my joke every day, somebody ate a bat and then there was a run on toilet paper and now we're going crazy in quarantine. And that's the definition of batshit crazy. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, we have to extend through May 15th. But if that's what we need to do to get this under control, better to stay in for 2 weeks than go out on May 1st and then cause a second pandemic, because you don't want to have another pandemic. Besides the fact that there will be a lot of death, there will be too many fat people walking around. Do you know why? I heard this joke today too. Do you know why they call it a pandemic? Well, I screwed up the joke. I'm going to tell the joke tomorrow. I screwed it up. I told Jill I was going to screw up the joke. So anyway, a panda eats about 12 hours a day. And that's why they call it a pandemic, because we're all sitting home eating 12 hours a day. Screwed up the joke. It would have been funnier if I did it right. Now, some governors across the United States have already lengthened their stay-at-home mandates past the White House's May 1st goal of reopening, just like Governor Cuomo did. Public health experts have warned that lifting social distancing restrictions after 30 days would lead to a spike in infections, just as I said. Now, this is what Governor Cuomo had to say at the press conference. He said, "I would like to see that the infection rate get down even more. The New York pause policies, the close down policies will be extended in coordination with other states until May 15th. I don't want to project beyond that period. That's about 1 month. So 1 month we'll continue the close down policies. What happens after that, I don't know." The United Kingdom also extended for 3 weeks as well. Now, Trump, in about an hour from now, just about the time when we get off the air on Bradshaw Live, he's going to start his pandemic press conference of the day, and he is going to announce the opening up of America again guidelines, and it states that that states, in order to open up, are going to require to have a downward trend of coronavirus cases, and then at that point they will be able to open up some restaurants, some theaters, some workplaces, some sporting centers, some gyms, as soon as May 1st, but we don't know exactly what he's really going to say until he says it in about an hour from now. So we'll see how that all comes down. Now, coronavirus has affected unemployment, traffic deaths, crime, school shootings, mental health, obesity, you name it. A record 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits over the past month, erasing a decade of job gains since the Great Recession. More than 5.2 million people filed claims just this past week. A study published by UC Davis found that fatal motor vehicle collisions have been cut in half. Police departments are reporting drops in crime because nobody's out doing anything. Last month was the first school month since the year 2002 that there was not a school shooting. Why? Because there's no school in session. At the same time, calls for domestic violence have surged because people are home, they're stressed out. And, I feel bad for every sector, every sector of a person, or every group of people have problems, from people in old age homes, which is the how many untold deaths of people in old age homes, and the fear that those who are still there and alive have to live through, that they're going to catch coronavirus and die. And, all the way from the elderly to our children, our teenagers, who you say, okay, well, they'll be okay because, teenagers are not dying at the rates that elderly people are, because it appears that, somebody with an underlying illness, somebody who is overweight, somebody who is over 50, those are the people who are more likely to become sick from coronavirus. So teenagers, they're immune. But, I feel bad for teenagers. I feel bad, that kids who are finishing up their, high school career. High school is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be sit at home and do nothing. Kids who want to go to college next year in university, they don't even know if there's going to be a school open. College years are, if you go to a university, college years are your best years of your life. And to not be able to participate in college and university, and and maybe these schools are going to be closed next year and everything's going to be online. So there's stress and depression across the board, from the young to the very old and everybody in between. Yesterday I know somebody who called my office, and they were very depressed and they wanted to commit suicide. We got them help. They got hospitalized, but people are suffering. And for anyone to say you're not suffering, everything is great, I don't. The one thing that gets me through the day is that we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat, simply because there's nobody on earth who's walking around happy right now. So if you are feeling depressed, you are not alone. Please reach out to friends and family for support. Somebody reached out to my office for support yesterday. The best thing you can do, though, is help is always available by calling the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And I'm going to give you that number right now. So if you're feeling depressed and you need to speak to somebody, this is a telephone number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 1-800-273-8255. That's not my law office. That is the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And Lee, if you're listening, if you can put that up quickly on our screen, it's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. That is the number for the National Suicide Hotline, Prevention Hotline. And if you are feeling depressed, trust me, everybody has some level of anxiety and depression. You have to fight through it. We'll get through all this together. It's not just you, it's everybody in the world. That's what gets me through it every day. Because, I'm not saying to myself, boy, God is really punishing me. He's punishing the whole world. He's punishing everybody. So nobody's picking on Brad, and nobody's picking on you, because we're all in this boat together. So that's what gets me through the day, because I know that it's not me personally. If it was me personally and I had to be quarantined and everybody else is running around and I wasn't able to go to work and everybody else is able to go to work and I wasn't able to see my family and everyone else is able to see their family, then I'd say, okay, well, somebody's picking on me. But it's everybody. It's everybody. So if you are feeling depressed, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They are there to help you. They have experts who can help you. And that telephone number again is 1-800-273-8255. Now, I don't know if you saw what happened in Michigan yesterday. A bunch of Trump supporters rallied in front of the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, to protest the Democrat governor's stay-at-home order, and they actually brought Lansing to a standstill yesterday. They called it Operation Gridlock. Downtown Lansing was clogged with vehicles of protesters. The governor's name in Michigan is Gretchen Whitmer. She had the stay-at-home order to curb the spread of coronavirus. Seems like a sensible thing to do. Now, she believes that the people who flooded the streets to rally against the state's lockdown, actually prolonging the lockdown, not only for Michigan, but for everybody, these idiots. So she says that she's really disappointed, I am too, to see so many protesters swamp the Michigan Capitol building in Lansing, not taking precautions, wearing masks, social distancing. She said she saw somebody handing out candy to little kids with a bare hand. So if her fears prove true, if one person in that group had coronavirus, that entire group now, those hundreds of people have coronavirus. And you know what happens when those hundreds of people, they don't all live in the same home. They're all going to go to different homes, different cities, different counties, and they're going to start getting other people sick and prolong it. And here they are protesting that we shouldn't have to be quarantined. And what they're doing is they're making people sick. They're possibly killing people. And they are continuing doing this for all of us. They're screwing it up for everybody. It was 3,000 people, 3,000 to 4,000 people. One of those persons were sick. All 3,000 to 4,000 people are now sick, going around the entire state of Michigan, getting other people sick. Now, South Dakota's governor resisted ordering people to stay home. And now it has one of the nation's largest coronavirus hotspots. South Dakota's governor, Kristi Noem, she stood firm. She said, nope, no statewide order. Now, Governor Noem has said it was up to individuals, not the government, to decide whether to exercise their right to work, to worship, and to play, or to even stay at home. Now, a team from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention has arrived in Sioux Falls. Why? Because it is the largest single coronavirus cluster anywhere in the United States. 518 workers at a giant pork processing plant in South Dakota, it's called Smithfield Foods, all got ill from one person who worked in that plant who had coronavirus. Now, South Dakota's total number from that 518 workers who got sick last week has now jumped to 1,311 today. 80 of the new cases are directly from Smithfield Food employees who actually work there. The rest probably are from people who came into contact with workers from the Smithfield Food Company. So now South Dakota has a big hotspot. The same thing happened on the USS Theodore Roosevelt in Guam when they fired the captain for saying something. The Cook County Jail has 524 people. The USS Theodore Roosevelt in Guam, which is the aircraft carrier for the U.S. Navy, 585 people, all sick. This was kind of funny, only because of Groundhog Sam. We think this is one of Groundhog Sam's cousins, actually. An adorable buck-toothed groundhog was captured on camera casually munching on a slice of pizza while peeking into a Philadelphia woman's home through a sliding glass door. This is an absolutely true story. The hungry guy just chowed down on the snack next to a backyard barbecue as he gazed into Kristen Chalia Bagnell's house in footage that she posted on Facebook. It's not just the people that like Philadelphia pizza, Bagnell quipped in the caption of the video. At one point, her dogs Maggie and Moses ran to the door to investigate the furry intruder, but that gutsy little groundhog was undeterred, just sat there on the porch eating the pizza. The critter stayed in the spot, enjoyed his meal for more than an hour, and then finally left. We are sending Groundhog Sam out to investigate and find out more about this groundhog. We will keep you updated. Now, this is also some nice little news I saw. Volunteers at the Friends of the Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control, they erupted in a joyful celebration over a completely empty kennel. The milestone happened at the West Palm Beach, Florida Shelter Stray Housing and Adoption Overflow Kennel, where all the dogs were all happily adopted. I guess a lot of people are now adopting pets amid the quarantine, so at least pets can make them feel more comfortable. And finally, this was a really nice story. I don't know who watches Saturday Night Live. I do. Michael Che, he is the head writer on Saturday Night Live. He also hosts Weekend Update. Well, he is paying a month's rent for tenants in one of New York City's housing projects, and he's really wondering why the government isn't doing more to help. The Saturday Night Live star announced he's going to cover rent payments for all 160 apartments in the New York City public housing project where his late grandmother lived. Michael says it's crazy to him that residents of New York City public housing are still expected to pay rent when so many lost their incomes due to this pandemic. The comedian says his contribution is only a drop in the bucket, and he's calling on the New York City housing development for a better plan for debt forgiveness for anyone living in public housing. Michael also called on Governor Cuomo, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, and P. Diddy to fix what he sees as a major problem. But that was a really nice gesture on his part, absolutely. And that is the schmooze of the day. Now, before we get into all of our immigration questions, I have to remind everybody one last time that my office is open if you want to call and speak with me. The best way to speak to me is call my office and get on Uncle Brad's list. I can call you tomorrow. I can call you Saturday. I can call you Monday. You get on my list, I give you a call. If you're a new client, you pay a consultation. If you're an existing client, I just call you. And the telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. You could also slide into my DM if you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram, you can slide into my DM, ask me a question. I'll be happy to help if I can. In addition, you could also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you say, hey, I'd like to speak to Uncle Brad, but I don't want to pay to speak to Uncle Brad, well, we have solutions for everybody. Follow us at Brad Show Live. Find the free consultation post that we put up yesterday. Like that post on Instagram. Tag 5 of your friends in that post. And guess what? You'll be entered into our drawing every Wednesday for a free consultation, with me. And all of that just because you tag 5 friends and follow my show and follow me on follow Brad Show Live on Instagram. In addition, the other thing that you should be doing is if you are watching on Facebook, I see we just had a little pause there for a second, but if you're watching on Facebook or you are watching on YouTube and you are not following us, follow us, because then you will be notified. When we come on air. You'll get a notification. So please follow us. We have so many people who watch, and I think a lot of people are scared. They say, well, I don't want the government to know I follow this immigration show. Trust me, the government's not coming after you because you're following Brad Show Live. I guarantee you. And if they do, I'll be your lawyer. I promise you. If we discover they came after you because you watch me, I'll be your lawyer. I promise you. Okay? So follow. That way you'll get all the best information. But you have to follow in order to get the automated bell or whatever that says we're on. And the same on Facebook. Finally, we want people to watch our show right now. I want to try to help as many people as I can. So please start your watch parties right now, because I'm going to be answering all your immigration questions in the next 2 minutes in something we like to call social media check-in. I don't know if we have a social media check-in graphic or not. Maybe we do. Maybe we're not ready for that one yet. Then we'll graduate to social media check-in graphics tomorrow. All right, let's start on. We've been starting on YouTube for a while, so let's start on Facebook today, and let's see what people are saying. Ada Nawat Chimulu NW says, Uncle Brad, is it advisable to get a tax ID before adjusting one's status? Yeah, if you need to file a tax return, yes, get a tax ID. You do it by filing a W-7 with your 1040 return. Chris Lowe with a question on Facebook. Good afternoon, sir. My mom filed for me in 2012. I already received all the documents. What I'd like to know after finishing filing the last DS-260 document, how long does it take knowing the crisis is going on? Please give me an idea. I don't know. Nobody knows. We don't know when the U.S. consulates are going to open. I don't even think our health professionals know when that's going to happen. So unfortunately, as smart as I am not God. Only God knows. Literally, only God knows when this virus will be over. Shauna K. Pert, I did not get your question. Please ask it again. Clifford Gordon, being single in this lockdown ain't cool. Well, Clifford, I can tell you that a majority of people watching this show right now are beautiful women who want to meet a great guy. Okay? Everybody get to know Clifford on Facebook. I'm telling you. Seems like a good guy. Seems like a good guy to me. Let's see who else we got here. Look at this. Brad Show Live. We're setting people up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. So he was just making a statement. J.D. Yates has a question. Hi, Brad. I have a question. I was a domestic abuse relationship with my husband. I have proof of audios that he wanted to stab and kill me, and he was having sex with his baby mama in my car. Is that proof enough for VAWA? Well, I think it's proof that your husband wanted to kill you. You have to show, if he didn't actually physically hurt you, you have to show extreme emotional abuse, that this was part of a continuing saga of extreme emotional abuse. If he makes a audio tape and says, "I want to kill you," and you don't know about this ever, I don't know where and he doesn't do anything, well, I don't know where the extreme emotional abuse is. So it would be evidence that would back up your claims of extreme emotional abuse, but you need more than that just to say, here's an audio tape of him saying he was going to kill me. Now, if he said that to you in your person, when you were there and you're in the kitchen, he yells, "I'm going to effing kill you," and you have that on audio tape, well, then yes, that's much better evidence, because it depends on where this happened, because then now you are directly fearful for your life at that very moment. So I would need to know what's on the audio tape, who he was talking to about that audio tape. But yes, it is evidence of extreme emotional abuse. Oliver Abrazado has a question. "Hi, Uncle Brad. How are you, sir? We've been interviewed April 10th, 2019, and then refused for administrative processing. After a couple of months, I received a refusal letter due to public charge. I submitted a statutory declaration together with my I-864 for my joint sponsor, and they sent me again a letter saying that our visa application is returned to USCIS. Based on USCIS, they received it on November 12th, 2019 for review. My question is, how long will they review our case?" If you were denied the visa petition, there's nothing to review. There's nothing to review at USCIS. They denied you for public charge grounds. USCIS only intervenes if they didn't believe there was a real marriage or something like that. But the public charge grounds, that's a final decision from the embassy. So I think what's going to have to happen is your spouse is going to have to refile for you again, and we're going to have a good lawyer and make sure this time you're prepared for better affidavit of support documents when you show up at your interview. But you're going to wait for nothing because your case was denied. You got to refile it again. See what else we got here. Shannon Campbell says, "Good evening, Brad. I have a friend who came here with her 2 daughters and overstayed their B1, B2 visa. They're here 5 years now. What can be done for them?" You talking about the daughters or the friend? The daughters are under 21, maybe a special juvenile immigrant. Every child who's under 21 who's living in a single parent home should at a bare minimum inquire into a special juvenile immigrant petition. Literally, that would be the bare minimum. You say to yourself, I know of a child, I am a child, or my child lives in a single family home, single parent home. That is the first step to seeing if you would be eligible to get that child a green card through special juvenile immigrant. If you're living with mom and dad in the same home, then that child wouldn't qualify. So the first step, you live in a single family home, single parent home, you should be calling our office to see about a special juvenile immigrant. Ronaldo Roberts, "Hi, Brad. If a permanent green card holder owes child support, can they file for citizenship?" Owing child support is evidence of bad moral character. If you are on a payment plan for backed up child support and you are up to date, that would mitigate the poor moral character. But if it's just you're backed up on child support and doing the best you can, then you're going to have a problem with citizenship. Sean Smith, "Hi, Brad. Do I need to send supporting documents to USCIS with my I-944 application? Can I bring the supporting documents at the time of the interview? Send it with the I-944. And Demore Romed says he has a crew 5 strong that watches with him every time. So when we see those numbers, I think that we have a lot of people crowding around either one telephone or one computer. We have a lot more people than we actually see watching. You see, Jill? You see? Koshantani Latif, "Hi, Uncle Brad. My form I-765 for EAD renewal has been pending for 8 months. When I sent the inquiry, USCIS said it's under review by an officer. What does that mean? It means it's under review. I don't know why it's under review. I didn't handle it, so I can't tell you. But 8 months sounds like it's way, way too long to renew an EAD. So either your underlying case was denied, or you screwed up the application, or you have some underlying security risk. One of the three, I don't know. But there's no review at 8 months. You're just eligible for it because you have a pending application that says you're eligible for it. And the fact that some officer has to look at it would lead me to believe that you would need to call a lawyer. Shauna K. Pert, my VAWA was approved today at 16 months. My question is, what's the next step? I am by resident. Okay, so if you were abused spouse of a permanent resident, the priority date should be current, and now you file your adjustment application immediately. And then you get your work permit and your advanced parole. Karima Swap, hey Brad, just asking a question for a friend. She did her interview in January for adjustment of status, and they asked for more documents as proof of a real marriage. She sent them back in. Do you know how long it will take? I don't know how long it take. I can just tell you that generally it is 120 days. They should be making a decision. After 120 days, give me a contact. Give me a call, and let's see what we need to do. You got to give them a bare minimum of 120 days before you jump the gun and do anything. Lynn Schumacher Sweezy. USCIS received my request for evidence on March 12, 2020. I had to submit evidence to prove a bona fide marriage. How long is this process? I'm not sure what process you're going through. Is this, you just filed an I-130? Is it an I-45? Did you file it concurrently with an adjustment? Did you already go for your interview? I need to know a lot more, Lynn, to give you an idea how long the process is. Randolph London, giving Shannon some computer lessons. When you write the text, place your finger and hold until it says paste. Oh, those are iPhone instructions, actually. Chris Lowe, sir, I want to know when you fill the DS-260, how long does it take for them to respond? My mom filed for me. It depends on what your priority date is. Let me know what your priority date is. But right now, everything's in a delay at the U.S. Embassy because everything's closed with the coronavirus. So for me to tell you when you're going to get an interview at a U.S. Embassy when the U.S. Embassy is closed, and for me to know when the U.S. Embassy is going to be open, I don't know that because I don't know when this coronavirus thing is going to be resolved. Now, that doesn't mean they're not working on your case, and that doesn't mean that they're not processing the case. It just means you can't physically show up at the embassy to finish it at this point in time. Kristen Hernandez, I need to know why I have an RFE, but it's an error message when I click the link. Is this typical? It's typical that the websites for USCIS don't work. Is it typical to get an RFE? You can get RFEs all the time. You got to wait for the RFE to be mailed to you to find out why you got an RFE. Let's jump over to YouTube a little bit and give them a little love as well. And let's start answering some questions on YouTube as well. Lissa Henry with pre-comment of the day. Squad up, Uncle Brad. You are so committed to your squad. That's right. Pre-comment of the day. Franklin Lavelle. Hello, Brad. Frank's a U.S. citizen, married to my wife from the Philippines. Okay. Question is, Philippines, they don't have social security number in the country. How does my wife go for a credit check on her credit score? She can't go for a credit check on her credit score. She's in another country. So if you're asking me, she doesn't have any credit. She's in another country. You would leave that portion blank. Abu Low, and I assume that's for the affidavit of support requirements. Abu Low, hi Brad. God give you long life. I pray, Abu. I really pray. I haven't done enough yet, so I hope he does give me a long life. So thank you very much. After we pay everything to the National Visa Center, my wife died. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. My condolences. She was the one who applied for me, for my kids overseas, and they already give me the 2-year green card. What's going to happen for my kids? Now, did your wife file for your children too? If your wife filed for your children too, then wait a second. Did you get your green card? Let me read this question one more time because I was about to say something, but then Did you get your green card before or after your wife died? After we paid everything to NBC, my wife died. Ashu, so then your kids are following to join because it automatically converted to an I-360. I thought your wife died after you got here. She died before. So your case automatically converted to an I-360. We can contact the U.S. Embassy and get your kids' visa appointments once the embassy reopens and get them to follow to join you here, assuming they are under 21. Joy Dixon, hi, Brad. What's the easiest and fastest way for my sister to bring her 30-year-old son to America? He's not married. My sister's a permanent resident. Start by filing an I-130. It's not the fastest, but it definitely is the easiest. Tia Prasad, also with a pre-comment of the day. Hi, Uncle Brad. Stay safe, and we all do appreciate what you're doing. God bless. God blessing be with you always. Thank you very much. Shugs, hi, Brad. Are all the interview dates canceled? My date is May 12th. As of the moment, May 12th interviews are ongoing. They've canceled all the interviews through May 3rd. That's assuming adjustment interviews, I-751 interviews, citizenship interviews. U.S. embassies, that's a whole other story. Village Ramp, hi, Uncle Brad. If one has inadequate pay stubs, can this affect the VAWA interview negatively? I don't know what you mean by inadequate pay stubs, but there is no poverty guideline requirements for VAWA cases. So it doesn't matter how much you earn. And Tali, being a good cheerleader, thank you very much. She's asking everybody to hit that great thumb up, make it blue. Let's go with a big smiley face. Edem, I just lost my place. 1 second, let me go back. Edem Gordon was asking a question, and then this whole thing just jumped. Let's go back and find Edem. Wow, Edem, what happened to you? I lost my place. Let's see where it is. Wow, lots of people asking questions. All right, well, I lost my place. Edem, ask it again. I lost my place. I was about to ask it, and then everything jumped. Leslie Beeston. Hi, Uncle Brad. Are you safe? Yes, I am. Thank you very much. If you got a marriage license with your spouse in the USA after 86 days of your arrival in the USA, but you actually got married after 124 days of your arrival, that should be okay, because on the marriage certificate, it's very rare that they say when you bought the license. It just says the date of marriage. So you shouldn't really be asked any questions. So fingers crossed. Ulysia Mendez, I started a mandamus case with your office late February. What's going to happen? Ulysia, call my office, get on the schedule. I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'm not familiar with your case off the top of my head, but we'll figure out what's going on with it. Tamika Walker, Brad, my social security card was lost years ago. Can you help me get it back? If you're in legal status, yes. With a green card or you're a citizen, yes, of course. But if you're out of status, you can't get a social security card back out of status. Keisha Ford, Uncle Brad, what flavor Oreo did you have today? Keisha, there's only one flavor, the original flavor. And I just switched from double stuffed to the thin ones. I think I'm liking the thin ones better now than the double stuffed ones. They taste better when you dunk it in milk, like a little child sometimes. But yes, you only go with the original. Ken Kibbett, hi, Brad. Is it advisable to use advanced parole under VAWA to travel, or is it best to wait until a green card is approved? You can travel on the advanced parole under VAWA. It's perfectly okay. Tia Prasad, hi, Uncle Brad. I have a question. How long to get a combo card? It's been 4 months now, nothing, and long to get green card interview adjustment status in U.S. Well, hopefully you got fingerprinted. So if you got fingerprinted, you should get your combo card in a month or two. If you didn't get fingerprinted, then unfortunately you're going to be waiting a little bit. So let's hope that you got fingerprinted. Pierce Martin, hello, Brad. After filing VAWA, how many months does it take to get approved and get a work authorization? If you filed an adjustment with the VAWA, you will get a work authorization in about 6 months or so. If you just filed a VAWA, you're going to wait 18 to 24 months for the approval before you can get a work permit. I always suggest filing a VAWA and an adjustment simultaneously. Stacy Angel, hello, Brad. We filed our taxes jointly for 4 years, but by 2021, I will have filed married but separately because my husband always owes a child support. Can I apply for citizenship for separate filing taxes? You can apply for citizenship if you've had a green card for 5 years, but if it's going to be based on 3 years, you're going to have to show joint tax returns. Let's see. Fox Racing with a conspiracy theory. Our government is lying to us about what's going on there. If these scientists in this country know about this virus, then why can't they come up with a cure then to help the elderly dying? Conspiracy theory by Fox Racing. I don't have an answer for you. And I'm not taking any positions on conspiracy theories. I don't know enough. Nala Danashar. I file my taxes as married, filing separately, but my husband is overseas. Will I get a stimulus check? Yes, you should, as long as you filed your taxes with the Social Security number. Kunal Lawrence. Hi, Brad. I'm married to a United States citizen. She got a job and had to relocate to another state. I'm considering joining her. Can we file adjustment status in a state different from where we got married? Yes, and you will have to join her if you want to file the adjustment. Part of doing the adjustment based on a marriage is that you and your spouse live together. 29 Super C, with some statements. Keisha Ford, she has a concern. In New York City, people in the grocery store are buying the same thing every day, shaking my head. Funny thing is it all bunch up together in the lines, so there's no social distancing. It's a problem. But in the grocery stores, what I noticed, Keisha, is they put X's on the floor, and you're supposed to stand when you wait online 6 feet away on the different X's. People aren't doing that in your grocery store. I would speak up. Intermission. Hey, Brad, I haven't filed taxes in 2019. Should I wait to file first before sending in the tax transcript required as documentation for the I-864, or do I have the ones for the 3 previous years? You can use the ones for the 3 previous years because your taxes are not due now until July 15th. Shanette Barrett filed a petition through VAWA with the I-45. The I-45 was returned, stating that there's no immigrant visa available. I've received the prima facie determination. Can I refile the I-45? Well, it sounds like your abuse was at the hands of a permanent resident, not a U.S. citizen. There would only not be an immigrant visa available if you were abused by a permanent resident. If you were abused by a U.S. citizen, then that was an error by immigration, and you should be refiling. You should be refiling your I-485. Leslie Benoit says, hi, Brad. I have a friend. His wife was arrested for domestic violence. He has a child with his wife. He needs to file for VAWA, but he has a previous adjustment pending. What can he do? He files the VAWA, and after he gets the receipt of the VAWA, he contacts immigration and says, please convert my pending adjustment based on my bona fide marriage to my wife to now an abuse case. And maybe he would want to have a lawyer help him with that. Uncle Brad, my friend is in asylum status. He's allowed to work. Is he eligible for a stimulus check? If he filed a tax return with a valid Social Security number, from what I understand, you're getting stimulus checks back, especially because I assume he has a work permit. 29 Super C. Let's show some Uncle Brad some love on YouTube. The way you do that is take your thumb, hit that blue button. I'm sorry, hit that gray button and turn it blue. Intermission with plenty of questions today. On the form I-165, I guess the I-765, there is no I-165. Eligibility category, C9 is mentioned under multiple categories. What do we need to clarify that's under adjustment of status through marriage? I'm married to a U.S. citizen. It's C9. Anything for adjustment that you're basing your work permit on is C9. Kiki. My wife's mother got government assistance, and my wife is on it since she was a child. Would that stop her from petitioning me? Yes. Gervonta, the smart kid Stewart, says, pre-comment of the day, Brad, may God continue to be with you. Thank you very much. Danielle Cadallas. Hi, Brad. I was waiting for the appointment scheduled day after I paid and accepted all the documents on April 4th by the National Visa Center for my wife and my kids. How is this to be treated? It's to be treated that you got to wait for the government to open it. Hopefully you'll get called shortly thereafter. So Stacey Angel has a follow-up to her citizenship. She says this was about the husband who owes the child support, and she wants to file for her citizenship in 2021. So she writes, so Brad, by next year, my residence is already 5 years, so that's fine, not filing jointly. Yes, if you're basing your citizenship based on 5 years of having a green card, you do not need to have joint tax returns. Let's go back to Facebook. Lynn Shoemaker Sweezy. I forgot to tell you I've been married 3 years, but my husband is still in Tunisia. He's never been to the United States. I forgot what Lynn's question was. USCIS received my request for evidence on March 12th. I had to submit evidence to prove bona fide marriage. How long is this process? Hopefully, it'll be about 120 to 160 days. Let's hope. Somewhere there, 4 to 5 months, you should get a response back. Let's see who else we got. Nina God Pickney. Uncle Brad, after receiving your 2-year green card, do you have to renew your combo card? No, you don't. You have your 2-year green card. That's your permanent green card. It's your travel, and that's your work. J.D. Yates. My husband has said it to my face. I reported it to police. This is the woman who has the audio. Then the answer, the audios are in French. Well, yeah, the answer is that would be a lot of proof of domestic violence. Absolutely. Sherry Bushy Foster. Uncle Brad, I am waiting for the approval of my 10-year green card after removal of conditions. Should I have reapplied for my work permit with that application as it expired after the first year? If you are waiting for the approval of my 10-year green card after removal, you do not need to apply for a work permit again. But you do need, if you need to travel or work, you have to go to immigration once they reopen. You can get a temporary stamp in your passport. You're a permanent resident, so you don't need any combo card or anything. Cordella Douglas, down in Florida. Hi, Uncle Brad. If you file joint tax returns with your husband and he owes child support, will he be getting a stimulus check? He may be getting a stimulus check, but you may be taking that stimulus check right out of the bank the second it hits because they're going to take it for the child support payment. It's possible. Hi, Brad. I submitted my N-400 today. What's next, please? That's from Naked Wire. Wait for a receipt notice. Wait for the government to open up. Take a fingerprint, and eventually you'll get an interview. Marie Victor Guzman. If my bro is 20 and is in the military, can he help my parents file? My parents came here more than 25 years ago, but entered without inspection. If your bro is in the military and he's 21, well, the answer is yes. If your brother is in the military as a 20-year-old, you can apply right now for parole in place, which is evidence of a legal entry when there was no legal entry. And you can use that parole in place to adjust your status once your brother turns 21. So the answer is yes. Start the parole in place now because you're eligible to file for it now. And then when he is 21, file for the adjustment. J.N. Pereira. Hi, Brad. Thank you for doing the show. I filed a VAWA about 3 months ago and went to my I-130 interview by myself and asked USCIS to convert my I-45 to VAWA. But they are yet to make that decision. Now I have to renew my I-765. What should I do now? Do I have to wait until my field office transfers the I-45 to Vermont? No. You have a pending I-485. Just file the I-765. Eventually, it will be converted. But as long as you have an underlying application for adjustment of status, you're perfectly okay to file for an extension on your I-765. You don't have to wait for the officer to do anything. Ma Dukes, hi, Uncle Brad. Is it true that the stimulus check is a loan from your 2021 tax refunds? That is not true. It is free money that the government is giving you. Bethine Alicia Elliott Blackwood. Hi, I recently filed my I-485 form for my spouse, but it was returned because it was outdated. The updated version should be accompanied by an I-944 form. Should I be worried that my spouse does not have all the requirements such as health insurance, credit score, employment? Yes, you should be worried. And yes, you should call my office, 1-800-529-5465. This 944 form is torture, brutal torture. You need a good lawyer or you screw it up. First Lady Jody. Hi, can you file for a work permit or social if you're not in status? Maybe. I don't know how, but, you're asking, how do you get a work permit and social? Have a consultation with me. All different ways to do it. Monique Milani. Hi, Brad. If my daughter, who is a citizen, gets insurance, is that a public charge? What type of insurance is she getting? Private insurance is not a public charge. I don't know what insurance she's getting. Cordella Douglas says, Uncle Brad, he's paying child support. So then it should not be a problem with the stimulus check. Sure, blessed, highly favored parent. Hi, Uncle Brad. If someone files taxes 2018 and was to pay back some money and did pay it, will that person be getting a stimulus check? Yes. Tor Davis. Hey, my mother is an LPR filed for me before I was 21, August 7th, 2017. USCIS received my case March 12th, 2020. How did your mother file for you in 2017? They only received it 2020. Hi, my mother is a lawful resident. She filed for me before I was 21, August 7th, 2017. I'm sorry, on March 12th, 2020. I got to continue to read. On March 12th, 2020, it was approved, and on March 23, 2020, NBC received it. When can I get my welcome letter? Months or years from now? I don't know how old you are now. I need to know what your birthday is to see if you are qualified under the Child Status Protection Act. That's all the questions right now on Facebook, on YouTube. Stacey Angel says, thank you, Brad. I really appreciate all your time. Let's see what else we got on YouTube. Excuse me 1 second. Tor Davis, I asked that question. My mother's LPR filed for me when I was 18. However, I'm 21 now. I need to know what your birthday is. Nisha Williams, hi, Uncle Brad. When will your office be open? As soon as Governor Cuomo says it's okay. Right now, May 15th. But my office is open. We are taking clients. I'm doing consultations every day from home. So absolutely, you can call us at 1-800-529-5465. Even though you can't physically see me, you can hear me. We can get applications out. We're processing people's cases. We're helping people every day. Glow 509 Richard says, hi, my case, my I-130 has been approved from August 19th, 2019. Do I have to, with on National Visa Center, get the visa bulletin emailed to me? I'm an F2B. How does it work next? Thank you for your time. If you're in the F2B category, it works based on the day your application was filed, not the day it was approved. So your priority date is the day in which it was filed. You do not need to have the visa bulletin emailed to you. You can watch it every day on just Google visa bulletin, U.S. government visa bulletin. It'll pop up on Google the first thing. The National Visa Center will eventually contact you nevertheless. Abdullah, after we pay everything to the National Visa Center, my wife died. We answered that question already. Rebecca Iwobar, hey Brad, my I-130 was approved November 7th, 2019. When should I get my green card? My daughter is an American citizen and she petitioned for me, and I'm in the USA since 2017. You need to file an adjustment, Rebecca. So until you file the adjustment, nothing's happening. Daniel Cadalas, hi Brad, I was waiting for the appointment scheduled day after I paid and accepted all the documents on April 4th, but by National Visa Center for my wife and my kids. How will this be treated? Well, until the embassy opens, you can't get an appointment. That's the way it is. Crucia de la Torre, hi Brad, with the public charge joint sponsor requirement, does this mean that a poor and old U.S. citizen can't petition a spouse? Who will take care of the U.S. citizens when they can't work already? Is that fair? No, it's not fair. An old citizen can petition a spouse, but that spouse will have to show that they're taking care of, they have the ability to take care of their spouse, or that they have the ability and educational background to get a job and take care of themselves, one or the other. Javante, the Smart Kid Stewart, how do you feel about the proposed reopening of the economy on May 1st? I talked about that in my schmooze, and you can go back and watch. Stacey Angel, so Brad, by next year, my resident is already 5 years, so that's we answered that question already. Richard Edemag, can I sponsor my new marriage while working with an expired work authorization? Can I sponsor my new marriage while working with an expired work authorization in 2020? Can you be sponsored in your new marriage? Yes. I guess you're asking, you're working out of status, even though you had an old work permit. Will that bar you from getting a green card for your new marriage? The answer is no. The fact that you worked out of status is not a bar to you getting a green card. Stella Bella, USCIS sent back everything, nothing that I used on the I-45. The new form should be accompanied by I-944. Should I be worried my spouse doesn't have an income health insurance? Yes, we talked about that. Yes, you should be worried. Rosette, squat up, Brad. What are the proof I need to show to prove 2 years custody for a child for adoption? The proof is either your proof for 2 years is the date in which the adoption happened. 2 years later, you had legal custody. 2, you have an order from a judge saying you have legal custody. That's it. Either you have legal custody for 2 years from a family court or a judge, or you base it based on the 2 years from the date of the adoption. You also have to prove that you lived in the same physical home as that child. That's different than legal custody. So you have a residence with that child requirement as well. Does unemployment, Ulissa Mendez has a question, does unemployment affect the public charge rule? Yes, it does. And by the way, I do have to remind everybody again that my office is open. If you want to get on my schedule and speak with me tomorrow for a consultation, you're a current client, the best thing to do is call my office right now, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, the number is 212-227-8933, and you can get on my schedule. And even though we are all working from home, I've been on the phone all day, which is why you hear my voice a little raspy, because I've been talking on the phone all day to clients, helping them, or prospective clients who call me for the first time, helping them with their immigration problems. Javante, the Smart Kid Stewart, wants to know, what is the significance of the I-130A? Should this be of great help to the process? What if it is missing from the filing package? The I-130A is basically the new G325A, which is the biographic data forms. So yes, you need the I-130A in a marriage case. Nunir Baptiste, when can one apply for citizenship? It is 3 years after green card or 3 years after marriage? 3 years after green card. Better Life Records. I got a notice on my I-130 petition filed in September 2019 saying my benefit has been accepted and the process on 25 March. What does that mean, please and thanks? Better Life Records, if I read that 5 times, I don't even understand your question. So how would I know what it means? Let me try it one more time to read it if I understand your question. I got a notice on my I-130 petition filed in September 2019 saying my benefit has been accepted and processed on March 25th. It just means that they received your application and they'll make a decision. That's what it means. Rose Rosetta, Brad, thanks. What you are the proof I need to show the 2 years physical custody. School records. I don't know where you lived with this child, but school records, affidavits from people, any document to show that you and this child lived in the same house. But you would always start with school records and tax papers, and those are the first 2 places you start. And then affidavits of support. I mean, affidavits from people who know that the child was living with you. Let's see what we have on Facebook. Mohammed, we'll go back a little bit. JD Yates, I answered. Sherry Bushy Foster. Uncle Brad, I am waiting for the approval of my 10-year green card after removal of conditions. Should I have reapplied for my work permit with the application as it expired after the first year? No, you can just get a stamp on your passport that you have an I-751 pending, and that is your permanent resident card. J.N. Perna, I answered that question already. Bethine Alish Elliott Blackwood. I recently filed my I-45 form for my spouse, but it was returned because it was outdated. The updated version should be accompanied. I answered that one as well. Let's see if there's anything else here. Mohammed Junaid Sadiq. Hello, sir. My case is F3. Priority date July 29th, 2011 at the National Visa Center. Does the public charge rule affect my case? How long will it take to be approved? If you're in the F3, you're about 5-6 years away. Public charge always will apply. Maurice Parker, I did my interview December 2019. Still don't hear anything from US yet. Can I apply for unemployment for my workplace closed down? You can absolutely try. Absolutely try. And with that, folks, we're going to end the show for the day. I'll be back tomorrow to answer more of your questions. I'm about an hour into this already, and I'm starting to lose my voice. But I do have to remind everybody that my office is open, so you can call my office to have a consultation with me. The telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. You can call and get on the schedule, and we call you tomorrow from anywhere in the world. So even if you're not in New York, you're in Florida, you're in California, Texas, anywhere in the world, we'll give you a call. 1-800-529-5465. But if you're international, you call +1-212-227-8933. I wish everybody to be safe. I hope this coronavirus thing is over soon. It will be. Let's all stay strong together. And thank you all for the love that you give this show and all of the members of the squad every day. It truly is a family that we've put together here on Brad Show Live. So thank you all for watching. I will be back tomorrow. I do have to remind everybody that prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. But as they say in Paris, au revoir.